It's a little cold, so we'll let it sit here and warm up for a little bit. So we need to get our 4020 hooked up to the feed grinder. I am capable of grinding feed. It's just when it comes time to offload into the tank, you wouldn't think that a 20-foot auger, 21, 22-foot auger, however long that auger is on that grinder, would make a 165-pound guy earn his keep. And that is with the feed auger empty on the grinder. That thing is heavy, heavy, heavy. I've said, why couldn't we put a little hydraulic cylinder on the auger, but Dad says that things will get broken if you do that. Okay, it's his grinder, we'll do things his way. But I did, however, come up with an idea of utilizing this concrete over here, because once you get over here and you start to go down the hill and you got the crank about here, it kind of makes things a little challenging to get the auger up to there. It's easier to use a flat surface to run the crank on the auger, but you know, hey, we make it work. It's a lot easier since we have the tractor out anywho to move those skids. It's a lot easier just to hook it up to the manure spreader to move it around with the 6120. We had to move it anyhow, so we'll just use it to move the spreader. Now I did want to explain something right quick, is if you were to let the thing out that far in the building and have all this space back here, this would be considered wasted space, would it not? So we're just getting ready for winter time, and that means buying more feed, more pellets, supplement to go into the feed. We're going to try and stack the other one up on top, and then we'll probably leave that one where it is or put that one in front of those there, because that'll be the one that we use off of first. I don't know. There, that is mucho better. Well, this much is ready for winter time. I guess I don't need to get the grinder over as far as I did. I can cheat it this way, just a skosh. But it's in here anywho. And we are ready to grind feed this afternoon later on. We need to, like I said, we're going to use this skid first because it's the lighter of the two here, and these are for winter time. We need to put that 6120 on the manure spreader so that way we can put it in its winter spot in the building. So that way when the boys get the water truck all cleaned up, We can put the water truck in that bay there beside the backhoe. Seeing as how the water truck has some length to it. The reason for putting the spreader in this building over here and not just scooting it over one bay, we used to put the backhoe see, how did we do this? We had a dump truck here. We did not block this bay. We had the manure spreader where the backhoe was now, in that slot. Then we had a dump truck in here. We put the backhoe in here. We put the green Mac here. We put 476 over here at that bay. Or was it truck 23? No, or truck 22. I can't remember. I think we had truck 22 over there. Then it was the green Mac, then it was the backhoe, then it was 145 or 146. It was one of the two that we don't have anymore. I'm gonna have to relook, but I think we got rid of 146 and we just got 145. We'll make it all work. It's tight in here, but it works. We need to put the battery charger. Oh shoot, isn't gonna work. I just remembered that Chevy sticks out further than what the Cornhead did last year. Well, we can always find something short to stick right here. Could always unhook the semi-tractor and just back the tractor in here, but what good would that do? That thing holds grain during the winter. We'll get it figured out. I do, however, need to take the battery charger off of this Chevy and put on the 3010, so that way we can start warming the batteries up on this thing and getting stuff moved around here a little bit for winter time. Alrighty, so this is done. We're just gonna let the heater run. We'll get the door open because we do not pay the fuel bill around here. So we got all our vents put back in. We need to slide this seat back a hair because we well, it's lovely. I ain't got nothing. Great. Well, that sucks. There's no dash lights, no nothing. I mean, it did. So what you do here is you take that off. And then you put a battery charger on it. Well, so we just had to run somebody back across the road. Went and got that water truck, brought it over to put it to bed for the winter. So while we were scraping the barnyard and moving our machine, we had to have some help because I could not remember for the life of me if this was 12 volt or 24 volt. We got life support on it because, as you guys recall, we did not have no power at the key. It since then starts just fine. The key comes on like it should. Dash lights come on. So we don't know what happened. We can take the thing out when we are done playing with our pudding. And we can hook the thing up to the spreader, put the little trickle charger on it again. Or we can just let it, well, I got a trickle charger over at the house that I can put on this. Let the one on the truck, or else, well, either or. I don't know. I don't know. We need to concentrate on manure right now, though. That is mucho priority. Well, I can see we're off course already, just a skosh. We need to correct ourselves over to the left a little bit more. Actually, it would be the way you guys are facing now is the left. The way it is from the operator's seat is that would be your right. So let's go ahead and get some lights on in the building here, and we will get her put back in place here after we correct ourselves a little bit. So we got the water truck brought over here and put to bed where it belongs. It is a 84 GMC General. It was a dump truck to my knowledge. It was a dump truck, then it was a water tanker for a fire department, and then it is a homemade water truck. What we done was we utilized that pump right there. And there's a PTO driven pump up underneath. This is just the vacuum and all that rigmarole stuff. We made this up so we can hook our water up to it from the water pump that is down at the lake to fill this thing to water the road to let the dust down. And what we done was we had to make our own pipe up here, snakes around back underneath the battery box up to the front here where we can spray water. We normally just use the spray nozzles on the back of this thing because they do a better job. Why would you want to water down? Why would you want to water in front of you when you are just going to drive right through it and make mud? Why not just use the back ones to water the road? You cannot run all four, or you cannot turn all four on at the same time, because the air dryer, the air system on the truck is not able to keep up with the demand for air pressure. So it's either the back two or the front two. But it is what it is, and we have made do with this setup for 10 years, I believe. We used to use an old Ford F700. I believe it had a 1,000-gallon water tank on. It was a little 700-gallon. It was a little 700-gallon tank with a gasoline engine on the back, kind of like the same setup with this, but it had a gasoline engine that sat on the back end. You had to start the gasoline engine. That was your pump. You started the engine, jumped in the truck, and started grabbing gears. You could nowhere near water what we are watering today. You could not make it all the way around the pit with that little 700-gallon tank. I believe this is 4,000 gallon or 3,000 gallon. Much more capacity and volume, and it is done just fine. We've had to do some framework to it. We had to cut the frame behind the cab, shove that out the door because the frame was rusty. There was a dump in the back end of this thing that we had to take out because it was leaking water faster than we could fill it, and nobody knew that it was leaking back there. We just assumed that the tank itself was cracked. Well, that wasn't the case. We had in that dump back there, it was a quick release where you could dump like 5,000 gallon at a time if needed be. So we took that out this, I believe past spring, last winter, and it has been fine ever since. So we better get back to hauling manure, or else we're not going to get nothing accomplished today. So we need to take all this manure, we need to place it right here, so that way it can give the water time to run away. And then all we would have left is the dry frozen manure. It's supposed to freeze after Thanksgiving. You guys will see this video probably somewheres in the vicinity of February 6th, 7th, or 8th. Or I mean December. But that's just how it's going to have to roll. So I guess what I'm kind of going to do is I'm going to start over there and bring that manure around to here. Well, then I'm going to come over here and just start raking it all in the middle, kind of. And then I can take and push it back there behind me where it's supposed to belong, I hope. So we're just putting our hay out. You guys want to talk about fighting with manure being aggravating? I thought I could just take and rake the sides in just like I talked about. No, that it wasn't even gonna think about happening. Not when you got a bunch of hay that is buried underneath liquid sloppy pudding, making it a real pain in the butt to get traction. By the looks of things, we're gonna have to bed the barn again, unfortunately. But hey, with corn fodder, you would have to bed every 4 days or every 3 days. Straw, you can get 4 to 5 days before you have to bed the barn. Corn fodder just does not last like straw does. So I'm going to dump my second bale of hay in. We're going to open these doors up right quick. I'm going to see just how messy this barn is. If it's anywhere near what it is appearing to look like in the doorway, I'm going to bed it anyhow. I can let it go maybe until Wednesday? Today being Monday? We need to get as much time in between when we bed, because A, we only have so much straw. We don't have no corn fodder this year. We are mucho full of straw, round bales. So we don't have no corn fodder. We didn't have any corn that was close to home, other than the gravel pit and one other field, but we ended up planting the closest field into wheat. The white property, I guess we could have made that into corn fodder, but it would be too darn hard to get a truck and trailer in the field to, I'm not saying we had a wet fall. It was just, there'd be too many obstacles to get the truck and trailer around. So we're going to have to use our heads wisely as to how often we bed to barns. So we're going to let this go until Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thanksgiving Day. I don't know. I really don't want to have to do anything other than feeding the animals on Thanksgiving Day. But if it comes to the fact that we need to do something like bedding the barns in an emergency due to a water line break, then we will have to end up working on Thanksgiving Day, seeing as everybody thinks that no matter what profession you are in, that you need the holiday off, and that is incorrect. You never get a day off when you are in agriculture. That is a fact. So we're going to dump our other bale in the ring. We're going to take a bale of first cutting. We're going to set it up top while we are down here, so that way we don't have to travel all over the country. And we can then start washing that loader, because if you guys didn't know, beef cow manure is a lot more acidic than dairy cow manure. If you guys want to argue about that, be my guest. I really don't care. I'll just tell you, cow manure is a lot more acidic than or beef cow manure is much more acidic than dairy cow manure or pig manure. As Andy Horgan would say, dirty. So we're gonna dump some water on this, and then we're gonna take a toothbrush. We're gonna scrub it nice and clean after we get done putting soap on it. You cannot get clean without putting soap on anything. Even yourself when you take a shower. Well, this sucks. Something went broken. Crap. I don't know nothing about toilets, so yeah, I just use them. I don't fix them. So there's something that really aggravates me, and I will show you right now, is when people leave the door up like that, because they think that, oh, you know, if that door pinches that hose, or if you know, pinches a hose or a water line, then it will not get no water flow. You guys see what I'm seeing? Yeah, it's down on that hose, but it is not putting a kink in it because the rubber underneath the door is giving. Okay? So there. I really, really, really find it annoying that people leave the garage door up about that far because they're afraid that if they put it down, you won't get no water flow. So I'm gonna show you that is mucho incorrect. Okay, so we got that going. I'm gonna start our pump, and I'm gonna show you guys just that is incorrect. You gotta let the air out of it every time you turn the hydrant on because it gets air in it. Why it does that, I have no clue. But it is what it is. Well, our tip is still on. It's not all blowed off. Maybe that door does have to be up a little bit. I can't believe it would put that much of a kink in it, but you never know. Maybe my thinking is wrong in that. No? I don't know. Duh. Hey, dummy. You done shut the yeah, you done shut the water off. You don't want that one on, you want this one on. Duh. Well, that made me look like a fool within 5 minutes of starting to wash a skid loader. But you know what? We're all fine. And just like what Donald Trump would say, make America great again? Well, we're gonna make a skid loader great again. Not looking bad for a 31-year-old loader. Not looking bad at all. We got a couple places that are starting to rust and the paint, but you know what, that's normal stuff where you get it out of the loader. This here, it's perfectly normal for the paint to be coming off, but it don't look bad. I mean, it will probably outlive my lifetime, come to think of it, if taken care of. So we got this A200 going. It just needed a battery charger put on it. Dad trying to tell me that I can hook the ground right of there and the hot right there, but I don't know. I've never hooked anything to a starter before, so I'm skeptical. I really am. So I'm just gonna let it for somebody else to do.